Hello there guys and welcome to another review after Raw. What a great start. We are obviously joined today by the incredible Saul.
Hello there.
AcidicSaul09 or VicarSaul on Twitter. You know what to do, it's all there for you.
Indeed.
Before we get into this episode, Crown Jewel. Let's have a quick little talk about Crown Jewel. What an amazing pay-per-view.
Yes, yeah, really good. For it, we never really have high expectations of the Saudi show, but Crown Jewel was really, really good.
Yeah.
Lots of good matches. Don't think there was a match that I was super disappointed in. Even the Omos Braun Strowman match was all right, which I know we didn't
Surprising.
think it was going to be. But yeah, great pay-per-view.
I will say one thing, and that's in regards to the Braun Omos match.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept as the Brock and Bobby match. It
Two
is,
big guys.
yeah, one dominates, one gets the victory.
Mm.
Bobby Lashley literally dominated Brock Lesnar. Brock gets the victory out of somewhere. It works
Yeah.
for those two. But Braun and Omos kicking the crap out of Braun, and then Braun gets a power slam, and bam, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Two,
Yeah, you don't even a Braun power slam. You wouldn't expect to just put away Omos, would you?
yeah. But regardless, Logan Paul, Roman Reigns, incredible match.
Mm-hmm.
Buckshot Lariat was beautiful.
Yeah, he and that splash that he did taking the picture on his camera. I've got something written in my notes later. It says something about it
I think,
being
yeah.
the most viewed social media clip on.
Yeah, so it surpassed 50 million views, and it's the most viewed social media clip of 2022. And that's Logan Paul jumping off the top rope. It basically, it's one of the best shorts worldwide.
I mean, that looks, just seeing it looks incredible from that camera view, doesn't it?
The height
Crazy.
he gets is ridiculous.
And the fact he held on to it.
Yeah, fair play to him. I'd have lost it midair. But we go into Raw, obviously the Raw after Saudi, and we get told at the start of the. So I was actually an hour early to this. Makes a change from missing it.
You were late last week.
Yes. And while during the show that was on, I wasn't paying attention. It pops up. Seth Rollins Open US Challenge. That was the big kind of headline for Raw. A little advertisement before it went on the air that we've got a US Open Challenge.
Yeah, bringing it back.
The show kicks off, and they turn around and say, Seth Rollins Open Challenge. And I straight away predicted Mustafa Ali.
And yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, so I had here one prediction only, Mustafa Ali, and that was it. That was what I went for. But we start off with the Usos and Solo Sikoa. No Sami Zayn.
No, because we were talking about this. He wasn't at the Saudi show, obviously, for sort of personal reasons.
Yes.
But I'm surprised he wasn't on Raw tonight.
Yeah, so no Sami.
Last night.
Still Sami chance, though. But, so, gone.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I've got noted down. Crowd chanting for Sammy and how pissed off Jay looked.
I will say this much. This whole bit is 2 pages worth for me. I got some good notes, and you know what? I enjoyed it. So we start off with the Usos Open and Solo Sikoa. Brilliant. We also find out at Crown Jewel that the Bloodline are the poster for for Survivor Series War Games.
Yeah.
Now at this point, we don't know if it's a 4v4, 5v5, but later on in the episode,
yes, yeah.
So Usos versus New Day. SmackDown. So basically, this first part of Raw was used to heavily promote SmackDown from the looks of things, because we were getting them basically Usos versus New Day. If the Usos beat the New Day, they become the longest reigning tag champs in modern era history, which is massive, and it should be built up to be a big thing. But it's a bit weird having it on a random SmackDown show rather than have it on the Saudi show.
Yeah.
It would have made sense to have it on the Saudi show, but we move on. Straight away, Sammy chants before they even talk. Sammy is just getting chants everywhere. Cuts to image of them standing tall at Saudi Arabia. Obviously, they won the matches. And they promote the SmackDown match. And what you get is New Day rocks. They start chanting New Day rocks, and Usos actually say, yeah, they do rock. Yeah, you're right, they do. They the twos, and we the, and they get interrupted by the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favourite lines was this: "Oh, we came in by private jet, but you wouldn't know about that." And then I'm pretty sure Kofi after was saying, "Well, we didn't go on the flight.
No.
We weren't there." So, and Turner says 483 days as champs, the New Day, a long ass time. And again, if they beat the New Day at SmackDown, then they will become the longest reigning tag champs in modern era history.
Yeah.
I'll let you go for this.
I think they mentioned that the New Day broke that record. I think it was back in 2017.
Yeah,
And
5
before
years
that,
ago.
before that, it had been held by Demolition, and I can't remember when they were last active, but it was early 90s
Yeah, Action
that
Smash.
Demolition held that. Yeah.
Even I know that, and I'm
So,
young. There's one for you, people.
but yeah, the Usos sort of did big up some of the things that the New Day had done, like have Up Up Down Down was mentioned,
Yeah,
being on Netflix in the horror choose your own adventure with the
yeah,
Undertaker type thing. Um, but the New Day then sort of countered that they had to build their own rep, while the Usos had made it off the family.
yep,
The Usos were like, "Oh, you don't understand the pressure we're under. You guys don't have that kind of pressure." And the New Day were like, "Well, not knowing if they're gonna be fired, building up their own YouTube channel,
just to get noticed.
just to get noticed." Yeah. So that this was quite good because both sides seem to have a bit of respect for each other, but they couldn't understand where each other was coming from. There was quite a bit of tension. They were getting really worked up about it. And I
Yeah,
felt this did a good job of building the hype for the match on SmackDown.
and just before you go any further, this crowd, by the way, was dead.
Mm.
This crowd was a bad crowd this episode, and it was quite quiet to start with. And props to them a bit later, they wake the crowd up. They
Hmm.
do get the crowd going, but the crowd here are just dead. And it's not the
Mm.
New Day, and it's not the Usos' fault. The crowd was just meh at best.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Usos who are, even though they're a heel team, they're still incredibly
Oh
over.
yeah,
And you've got New Day, which is one of the most popular tag teams in recent history.
yeah.
And yeah, like you say, the crowd weren't making that much noise at all.
So it's like you say, big up New Day, non Netflix. They're proud of the New Day.
Mhm.
Must feel good to be the second best tag team. And the rebuttal was, well, no, you're the second best tag team because you're chasing us. You're chasing our
Mm,
title reign. You're chasing our record. So you're the second
mhm,
best for now. Heavy promotion for SmackDown, the real ones. Got tryouts based on uncles, cousins, blah, this.
mhm.
As you said, built legacy off her own backs. Mentions YouTube channel. Mentions getting booed when they first started the New Day.
Yeah.
As the
Mhm.
preachers that they were, not knowing if it was going to stick to being one of the most over tag teams in wrestling history.
Mhm.
And apparently, according to Jay, if Jay didn't forfeit, there would have been no Kofi Mania,
Yeah, that is the one of the things I've got written down.
which I
Usos
found
made
bullcrap
Kofi Mania. Mhm.
because I'm pretty sure it was Mustafa Ali that couldn't participate, which then made Kofi go in the Elimination Chamber to start
Mhm.
Kofi Mania. That's how I remember Kofi Mania. Is Mustafa Ali had to come out because of injury, and Kofi took his place in the Elimination Chamber.
It's a while ago for me. I'm old, so I'm gonna go with what you're saying, mate.
Overcame crap starter gimmick. New Day was a hole, and so they kept teasing that they're not whole. Big E's not there.
Mm.
Do we see Big E on Friday Night SmackDown?
If we do, it'll be purely as like a manager.
Yeah, or
Um,
to intimidate Solo.
yeah.
I don't think he'll
Um,
get physical, but I think he'll
no,
be there.
definitely don't think he'll get physical.
But I do think if we get Big E on SmackDown, it'd be massive.
Yeah, that's a good shout, mate. I hadn't even thought of that as like just like a counter to Solo to keep him
Yeah,
out of the match.
and then as you said, it was getting all heated up, and then all of a sudden, Matt Riddle interrupts.
Hmm.
Now I was confused with this to start off with, thinking, what the hell has Riddle got go, why is Riddle here? And he comes down to the ring, and basically before he even starts talking, Jimmy or Jay just go, Riddle, shut up. And then Riddle starts asking everyone if he wants to hit his bong. This was brilliant.
Yeah.
This was brilliant. Oh, yeah, do you want to hit my bong? People start hitting the bong. And then Jimmy actually properly goes for the bongs.
Yeah, he got right into it, didn't he?
And I put here 6-man tag team coming. Player. But yeah, hit the bong. Obviously, Jay swiped the bong away because he's just a knob. And you know the rules. Tap, tap, pass. Jay, you're not feeling very oozy. Which didn't actually get a reaction, in all fairness.
No, I think that
the crowd.
The crowd, yeah.
And then we go on to the match. So we get an ad break and we get told the New Day and Matt Riddle versus the Bloodline is next. So we have Riddle and Jimmy to start.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, we got an ad break about 5 minutes later. In which case I'll stop at that point, let you carry on. But so from what I saw this first bit, it's pretty much Jimmy's in the corner and he just gets stomped the crap out of.
Yeah.
New Day in control, and then we get another ad break.
The first sort of real notes that I've got for this match was when Jay hit a really sort of loud enziguri on Riddle. And that was when the Usos started to dominate Riddle. They sort of had him in the corner, stomping him. Solo got in, and you know what Solo's like when he's on a tear. There was one bit where Jay super kicked Riddle to the gut, and he's like, "Who's hitting the bong now?" And that just cracked me up when he said that, because the way he was reacting to the bongos. Then there was a hot tag with the New Day.
Yeah.
One thing I noted in this episode, I don't know if it's because the crowd was so quiet, but I could really hear a lot of meaty slaps with knees and kicks, and because there's so many super kicks and heavy knees in the show, and they were ringing out really loudly. Then there's the knees and kicks, then 2 splashes. Solo kicked out at 1 again.
Yeah.
That was something else that I noticed with Solo. He was kicking out all these big moves he's getting hit with, and he's still just kicking out at 1.
And yet Roman's kicking out at nearly 2.5 from a punch by Logan Paul.
Yeah, this is something that sort of surprised me a bit. Towards the end, we had Kofi getting smashed into the announce table.
Yep.
Then Riddle got dominated. Riddle got back in off the hot tag and started dominating everyone. And
that was nice.
Yeah, that was good to see him sort of taking control for a bit. Then he sort of cleared the ring. Then we did get a sort of smart hot tag by Solo towards the end.
Yeah.
Riddle hit Jimmy with RKO, but Solo was the legal man. Hit him with a spinning Solo. Yeah, and got the win. You've probably got a bit more to say about it. But...
So I had basically, so there was a nice double backdrop. They picked him up and dropped Riddle on his back, both the Usos. This match should be a teaser for SmackDown, and it was. I have to say, there was a part where they basically yanked Riddle's legs to either side, and I was like, "This is a no." You never split a man's legs like that, please no.
No. I mean, he's a flexible guy, but come on.
Still, Roman chants were halfway through this match. I had a funny one here. Super kick so good it buffered my stream. Kid you not? That super kick to the outside from Jimmy onto Riddle was that loud and whatnot that legit my stream buffered as it happened. I'm like, whoa, brilliant.
I mean, that's what I mean with this. In this episode, there's just so many loud super kicks and knees and punches. It was crazy, and it goes back to what you say about the crowd, I think.
Yeah. Also, I could hear a lot of the wrestlers telling each other what's coming next. I could hear a lot of it. And again, I know you got up. I'm not having a go at that by any means, but for me, I shouldn't be able to hear that. As a viewer, I shouldn't be able to hear you guys telling each other what to do. I should be able to just look at it and just sit back from afar and go, you're going to do what you're going to do. But because the crowd's not there, you can hear them. We had Riddle fighting at the corner. People love Riddle. I put this is where Riddle should be. High-end feud, showing off what he can do. Brilliant tag team offense, kick out one, Solo OP. Solo looking strong, lovely tornado DDT. Riddle on fire, proper hot tag. Riddle looks insane. There was a really nice powerbomb into a knee from Riddle. A nice backflip into a super kick. The rolling elbow from Woods always looks amazing. Floating bro into a dive. Randy DDT. Smart tag to Solo. Spinning Solo. Clean finish. Riddle takes pin. Protects the New Day. Correct choice.
Yeah, that was a good. They couldn't have. They needed to have Riddle take the pin in that match.
Yeah.
It was either that or Solo, and they weren't going to have Solo getting pins. So.
No. And personally, like I say, I think this is the right decision that was made. Because Riddle was inserted. Yes, he doesn't really have. What you could have done is had a bit of thing of, well, Usos, you were the guys to take the belts off of me and Randy. Had a bit of that storyline into it, because that's the only reason they've got both belts is because they beat Riddle and Randy.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any of that. It's a bit, but I'm not complaining.
No, I mean, it's got him out of the stuff he was doing with Alpha Academy and
I
Elias,
hope he stays out.
Yeah, so that was something positive.
This was 45 minutes of TV, which I'm very happy with because I was intrigued by all of it. I'm sat there, I'm loving the promo they had before. I'm loving Riddle coming down, had a bit of comedy factor, but still, 6-man tag team. It is SmackDown player. Then this match was incredible. I gave this match a 4 out of 5.
I gave it 3.5 out of 5. I think, like you say, it was a really good match. With the promo itself, I'd probably give it a 4.
Yeah.
As a sort of total package.
Like, this has got me hyped for SmackDown because New Day and Usos don't really miss.
No.
So SmackDown hopefully should be a banger of a banger after banger after banger after banger after banger after. Okay, Sheamus, calm down.
They're probably the 2 best tag teams in WWE.
Yeah,
I'd say at the moment. Yeah.
Street Profits are close third. For me, in my personal opinion, we've got some good tag teams in there. Legado del Fantasma, Hit Row.
We've got OC as well.
OC, Judgment Day. Some good tag teams in there. But yeah, so 45 minutes of this. I'm glad. I loved all of this. And then
it didn't feel like 45 minutes either when you're watching it, which is good.
What you want. Yeah, it was brilliant, and I enjoyed this very much. And like I say, Riddle taking the pin, best idea. We move on. Then we get a recap of Crown Jewel.
Yep.
And there was no mention of the women's tag team belts. On that first recap, they said, Roman defended. This happened, Bray Wyatt did all this lot, but no mention of the women's tag team belts being defended and also changing hands. Nothing. You had Bianca beating Bayley and whatnot, but again, not even an image or video part of the tag team. It was Braun, Omos, Bobby, and Brock, Bianca, Bayley, OC, Judgment Day, Roman and Logan. No women's tag team, which I was a bit. And
I'm still not sure why they did the title. I've already said this on the predictions on Saturday and last week, but this just didn't. The whole thing with this tag titles hasn't made much sense. The
only thing I can think is to basically have a women's match on the card that was quite prominent in a title change. Something big happened regarding women. Without getting into politics, Saudi Arabia is very known for having women always covered up. And we, at one point, didn't have women wrestling on a Saudi show. So we have come far in that circumstance. And I think this was basically one of those, they got to show off more females than what they have recently. And it was for a tag belt. So they, Asuka and Alexa got to defend them, and Dakota and Io got to win them. And it was a big moment because they won the tag belts in Saudi.
Yep.
So I think there's some kind of resemblance in, oh look, the women are quite prominent, as was the Bianca and Bailey match. Then we get JBL.
Yep. Well, he turns up and insults the crowd, as he always does, doesn't
Always. Talk of great arenas, this isn't one of them.
Yeah.
What idiot booked me? That idiot is your boss, Triple H.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. Yeah.
Be careful who you call an idiot.
Yeah. Triple H has probably still got a match in him somewhere. Somewhere.
I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
JBL and Triple H. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
He introduces Corbin, doesn't he? The new wrestling god, or whatever he's calling
modern
day wrestling god.
With the crappiest theme song for a wrestling god I've ever heard in my life.
Changes music I've got written in bold in my notes.
I do like this pairing though, don't get me wrong. But the theme's crap. And then at this point, I have a slight storm outside. So the first 30 seconds, I'd say, of this match, I basically, it was absolutely peanut down outside. I'm internet decided to have a doohickey. So I missed 30 seconds of this match. And let me tell you,
that was nearly the entirety of the match.
It was, yeah.
Like.
So all of a sudden, it's Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander. Lovely to see you. Where have you been?
When did I last see him? Talented guy, but doesn't get any luck. Well, he's going to lose was the extent of my notes on this match.
Last time you would have seen him would have been when Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander had a feud because they kept losing tag belts, which was back in June, July time. I believe. Yeah. Speaking of, though, we get Shelton on screen as well. And I'm thinking there's a Hurt Business reunion coming up somewhere. I'm wanting it. It won't happen, but I'm wanting it. My notes basically are, love that clothesline, the under the rope, back under the rope clothesline that Baron does. I don't know if it's got a name.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I mean, it looks a bit like the old clothesline from Hell when he actually hits it. But he does, like you say, he does that under the ropes, over the ropes.
This is the thing, right? Beforehand. If it was a clothesline from Hell, how badly diminished is that finishing move that Baron Corbin used it as a normal setup move? The clothesline from Hell means nothing at this point.
No.
I mean, obviously, JBL had a good clothesline from Hell. He took people's heads off. But obviously, it's not the close, but if it's as close to as possible, he's got the deep six and end of days as his signature finisher.
Yeah.
The clothesline from Hell is diminished.
Well, is only the modern day wrestling god. He's not doing it like JBL used to.
Yeah, he's a modern day, so he's a snowflake wrestling god. Sorry, Baron Corbin, don't hurt me. Lovely springboard enziguri from Cedric Alexander here. He's what you said. He's so talented.
Yeah,
but he doesn't get a break.
No.
Both Shelton and Cedric on Raw, because I find out in the little Tron, Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjamin. Which, when we get there, I'm going to throw my book at your screen. Don't mind me. And then there was a lovely springboard end of days. Yeah. So this finish was actually quite nice. I liked the finish because it was Cedric went for springboard, failed, end of days, and it was beautiful. But the match was still a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 1.5 out of 5.
I gave it a little bit more based on the finish. In all fairness, I just loved the way the finish looked. I was like, ooh. But that's all really that match.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to say about it.
What's the point?
I mean, you must have been like me. As soon as they said Cedric Alexander and he's going up against Baron Corbin, who they're trying to sort of build and hype up, you thought straight away, there's no way they're going to let Cedric win this.
What doesn't make sense to me is you have Dolph Ziggler, Johnny Gargano, then Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. If anything, they should have started with Cedric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm very questionable as to where Baron Corbin goes from here. I'm not sure what happens because he's paired up with JBL, but is this leading to a world title? What is this actually leading to? My only guesses are JBL versus Baron Corbin.
I mean, that's something you could definitely consider because at the moment it's not going to a world title when you've got Roman with both the belts.
Yes,
there's bigger fish to fry than Baron Corbin. The only other sort of thing would be at the moment the United States title.
Yeah, but even then,
Mm,
it's one of those, isn't it? It's still a
I think it's something that we're gonna have to wait and see, really, isn't it? Like you say, it doesn't seem to be any real direction at the moment.
Yeah, I'm a bit about it. I'm just not sure myself.
Mm.
Then Seth, and my first note is Seth not main event.
No, just dancing backstage.
Yeah, and he's getting ready to come out. I'm thinking Seth's not. What's the main event? Like
Mhm.
in my head, Seth should be the main event. So I'm looking
Yeah.
at it going, well, what's happening? And Seth comes out. Entrance is so good.
Mhm.
And he turns around and says, "I can't wait to be serenaded by your beautiful voices."
Yeah.
He's
He's.
definitely a face at this point.
Mhm.
He's got to be a face. If he's not, then I don't know what's gone off. But Seth at this moment in time is that over. I think he's a face.
Mhm.
Um,
We had him high fiving the crowd last week, didn't we?
yeah, high five in the
Stuff.
crowd.
Mhm.
I'm a bit confused because I thought he's a over cocky heel, but he seems to
Mhm.
be a face. Like, he's probably got to the point where he loves the attention on him by everyone.
Mhm.
But he's saying by your beautiful voices again. He's high fiving people, so
Mhm.
I'm happy with Seth being a face. Don't get me wrong, but Seth's a
Mhm.
better heel. In all fairness,
Yeah.
and as he's going on by his whole open challenge time, who's it gonna
Mhm.
be? The Judgment Day
Okay.
music hits.
Mhm. This is where I've got Seth face now. I've got written because if he was going to be facing the Judgment Day, then they're perfect heels for a face to be
Yes.
battling.
So it's coming down, and in all fairness, the commentary made a good point. Who's it going to be? Because Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Dominic are all in gear.
Even said it could be Rhea with how
Yeah,
she's been going
yeah, which I thought
lately.
was quite funny.
hmm
And comes down to the ring, and it turns out Finn's like, "You cost me gold.
hmm
Now I'm going to cost you gold." I was like, "Oh crap! Okay, Finn versus Seth. Brilliant.
That would have been a great match.
Oh, I'm excited for this." And then the OC music hits. I'm thinking,
hmm
okay. So my notes quite literally are OC time, confused. No Seth
hmm
Open challenge because OC comes down, and my first thought, in all fairness, was, "Oh my god, could we get AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor for the US title?"
That'd be a great triple threat match.
And they're going, and Seth just looks at him with the
Yeah,
microphone,
his face is looking between the two groups, and he backwards and forwards, and then he just sort of backs out, gets out of the ring, and runs away.
and it's like, "Oh, so we're not getting a Seth Open challenge then, are we?" So this was a placeholder, clearly, to introduce the OC and Judgment Day.
hmm
And AJ turns around and says, "Oh, we're looking for a Rhea solution. We're looking for a solution to this Rhea
mm.
problem. But we didn't find this person. This person found us."
And as he says that, you sort of like hear something crash outside the ring, don't you?
Yeah.
And then the camera sort of pans to Rhea on the floor, and a woman with a sort of hoodie over her head, towering over her.
And before we ask who this is, because in all fairness, this is the bit I want to point out. I think everyone knew who this was just by the colour of the hair because they didn't cover
Yeah.
it very well. So
Mhm.
Saul, who made their return?
It was Mia Yim.
It was indeed. We had Mia Yim come back. Now, we heard reports that Mia Yim was interested in coming back
hmm
and that Trips was open to that idea. They do some quick negotiations, apparently, because my god, Mia Yim's already in Raw 2 days after the reports.
Yeah. And it was the
Mental.
same with the OC stuff when they joined, wasn't it? It was like
Straight
2 or
in.
3 days before, and then they're in there, so, he doesn't hang about Triple H.
No, which is good because it means business. So she takes out Rhea Ripley on the side, and lo and behold, we have a nice kendo stick. Whack,
Mhm,
whack, boom. Mia Yim just kicks the crap out of Rhea in all fairness with these.
mhm.
These kendos look like they hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I love Rhea Ripley, but it felt so good to finally see her getting her ass kicked after, like, a month of her always having the last laugh. So
Yeah.
to see Mia Yim sort of laying in with those kendo sticks, I was like, "Yes, finally."
So my first two thoughts we're saving Charlotte, obviously. But Charlotte still would make sense here. But it's not Charlotte, it's Mia Yim. Okay. And I've seen on Twitter already this morning why Mia Yim. And I'm here to tell you my reason why. Because why the hell not? Mia Yim was in TNA Impact with the Good Brothers. And so clearly, disregard if you're going kayfabe story-wise, they saw the OC come over back to Raw and saw that they needed help. And obviously they've been in TNA together, so they know each other. They get along well.
Yeah.
And Mia Yim has decided, oh, actually, hold on a second here. They need help. And what a better way to come back to Raw than by pairing up with AJ Styles and the OC. So she comes back across, and yes, she's found the OC, but in all fairness, they was an Impact together. They definitely spoke and they definitely know each other. Hell, Mia Yim's husband is Keith freaking Lee. You know, so you're not telling me you're not well respected and well known, because Keith Lee's very well respected by Trips. I know that much anyway. And before anyone starts, just because Mia Yim back does not mean it is a ploy to get Keith Lee to come back.
No.
Look, one thing I will say, and I'm going to absolutely point it out, and if you don't want to bite, you don't want to bite. Just because someone's back in WWE doesn't mean that their partner is also coming back to WWE. There is plenty of instances where people who work in WWE have people in other companies or just another promotion or something else altogether, and they work absolutely fine being apart from each other. Hence, Selena Vega and Aleister Black, married in real life, one works at AEW, one works at WWE, both happy where they are. Wouldn't change it.
Nick Aldis and Mickey James have been married for a long time, got a kid, and they've often spent time in different wrestling promotions.
Yeah. Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan, one's in AEW, one's in WWE. If Brie Bella ever comes back to WWE, they're in different promotions. You know, it's one of these cases. Like now we've got Keith Lee and Mia Yim. They probably both will be happy in their promotions and not want to change.
No.
So look, at the end of the day, and I brought it up on purpose, is just be happy that we have people in AEW, WWE, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, that we can all just go, do you know what, it's wrestling. Let's not care about the turf wars, because there is no war. The Elite is not on TV at the moment, by the way. So, and yes, we'll talk about AEW on the Raw show, but in terms of this, AEW doesn't have competition with WWE. It's its own show. If you like it, go watch it. If you like WWE, go watch WWE. I like New Japan. I like AEW, and I like WWE.
AEW, yeah, we like them all. As long as you're getting good wrestling,
yeah,
you don't need to be a fanboy over which promotion is the best. It's just down to the quality of the wrestling they're putting out, and all of them at the moment are doing a good job with it.
One of my favorite,
in the most part.
Yeah, one of my favorite matches this weekend, well, this week was Will Ospreay in New Japan. We had FTR in New Japan. Hell, one of my favourite pay-per-views of all time is Wrestle Kingdom, the first time I saw Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. Brilliant pay-per-view. If you've not watched Wrestle Kingdom, I'm telling you, Wrestle Kingdom is worth a watch. Years ago, not so much now, it's a bit here, but years ago, Wrestle Kingdom is top dollar. Not technically, because it's
not top dollar.
Yeah, it's technically on SmackDown. Never mind. So they cut back to the Mia versus Rhea NXT days, which they had battles. And then in the ring, Dom eats a Styles Clash. Lovely to see.
Yeah, he went because he was trying to
Hurricane Rana,
jump. Yeah, he got up on the top rope while AJ was sort of looking at Finn and went for a Hurricane Rana.
And got Styles Clashed. And he sold it better than James Ellsworth. That's all I can say. Actually makes sense. TNA Impact, Good Brothers brought her over, possibly. And that was
I say, I really enjoyed this segment.
Yes.
Because when me and you were watching Crown Jewel on Saturday, we were both a bit peeved that we didn't get the fourth person to join the OC, and that the Judgment Day had won again, because we were thinking, oh, this is just the same thing every week. So it's finally good to see OC get their new member, and we'll hopefully get some more competitive stuff going forward between the two groups.
So do we reckon at this point, right, we know that the OC and Judgment Day are 4 members each. Are
Mhm.
they going into War Games?
I mean, I could see it,
Is
but I don't know
this
how they'd
a War
get
Games
these
match?
women in. I mean, they're both of them say both these women seem like they'd be up for it. Mia Yim and Rhea
I mean,
Ripley. I
Rhea
don't
Ripley
think.
slammed Gallows.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I think
and
as
Rhea
long as
Ripley's. Sorry, Mia Yim. They say is like one of the baddest women on the planet. So.
yes, I reckon the women should be able to slam the males
Mhm.
and whatnot as a laugh. Obviously, the males can't touch the females, but I
Mhm.
reckon that if they would do a War Games match, they also go against each other. But there might be a bit where Rhea slams Gallows, so then Mia Yim slams Damian Priest,
Or
and
Dom.
well,
Dom's very
Dom,
slammable
yeah,
by Mia Yim.
everyone just slams Dom. Even Damian Priest slams Dom. Just, but they have like a bit of a show off where Rhea Ripley goes for, let's say, AJ, then
Mhm.
Mia Yim goes for Dom, then Rhea goes for Carl,
Mhm.
then Mia Yim goes for Finn, then Damian Priest, then Carl Anderson, and you have
Mhm.
them slamming all of them, kind of thing, and then you have them
Mhm.
facing off. That'd be a really good way to build them both up. Like what you can do, I can do.
Mhm.
But yes,
But
Mia Yim. Sorry, go on.
yeah, I think, and they could get around like by having the women as the last entrance, couldn't they?
Yes. Oh
Just
yeah.
you couldn't have them as the starting ones because then you could have a man come in and it'd be a man and a woman on
Yeah.
one woman.
I mean, imagine if it was Dom versus Mia Yim. And I mean, I'm fine with
Yeah,
this.
that would be.
I'm fine with this. Dom just gets kicked.
She'd kick his ass.
Exactly. And then we get something for SmackDown, which I'm very happy they explained, and I love this.
The World Cup.
The SmackDown World Cup.
Yes. Yeah.
The winner earns a title shot at Gunther's Intercontinental Championship because that's the main title on SmackDown.
Mhm.
It's just how it is. I like this, and it makes sense with the Intercontinental because it's a worldwide title.
Yeah, good concept, isn't it?
Good concept, very well fit with the times right now with the Qatar World Cup.
World Cup just around the corner.
Just around the corner, and it just makes sense. It's a very good. So, participants, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing it's going to be Sheamus, Irish, Drew,
Mhm.
Scottish, probably a Canadian, so maybe Sami Zayn in there. Or could
Mhm.
have Rey Mysterio, Mexican,
Mhm.
probably Pete Dunne, English, or someone English, I
Mhm.
guess. I know that is doing our countries
Mhm.
mostly, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, America's a massive place. And I
Mm.
can't think off the top of my head if there's anyone in any other country. The only ones I can think of is Rey Mysterio in Mexico
Mhm.
and potentially Shinsuke Nakamura from Japan.
Yeah. Mhm. That's a good shout.
Other than that, my mind's not going anywhere else. I can't think. That's not to say there isn't, but I just can't think off the top of my head. Maybe you have Solo Sikoa and you have him as Samoan.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
You
don't
could
know.
have another member from Imperium, couldn't you? Because I think they're from sort of different European
Germany
countries.
and Italy, aren't they?
Italy, you could have then.
Yeah. I mean, fair.
Obviously, an American.
You could have Ridge Holland, Yorkshire. That's its own
Mhm.
country.
With
Anybody
their
be?
bread cakes.
Oh, bird cakes.
Mm.
But yes, I love this World Cup tournament for the IC title. Again, making
Mhm.
the IC title feel prominent
Important.
and important. Yeah,
Mhm.
really good move here, I think. At this point, I'm thinking Seth. Have we still got an open challenge for Seth?
Mhm. And we cut to Kathy Kelly. She's meeting Seth backstage, and he just sort of like says, what's going on out there? Nothing to do with me, none of my business. But don't you worry, the people want it. The open challenge is still on. So now it seems like we're still getting the open challenge match, and it's obviously going to be the main event of
Yes,
Raw.
and the people want it again. A face phrase.
Thing to say.
So it's Seth's a face at this point. He's got to be.
Because
Um,
if he was a heel, it just said, "Oh no, the open chat. There's no chance we've had out the chance for the open challenge, and it's passed us by. So we'll have to wait until next week." But he's wanted to do it for the people, so yeah.
yeah. Otis versus Elias.
Mm,
Who
right. My
actually says it
first
all?
thought was Alpha Academy can't lose because they've been on such a losing streak, but then Elias can't lose because he hasn't had the most stellar return to Raw. And
honestly, right. I've really got 3 notes on this, and that's it. What have you
I
got on
haven't got
this?
much. I've got Otis embarrassed by Pumpkin incident
Yeah.
last week's Raw. So that seemed to be like the whole reasoning why we've got this match, because he was embarrassed. Elias tries to lift Otis twice, fails the first time, squashed by Otis the second time. Otis hits the post and then 2 big knee strikes, distraction by Gable, world's strongest slam, Otis wins. It wasn't much of a match, was it?
That's literally my notes. It is Trispickle Otis gets flattened, jumping knee, and again. Lovely fall by Otis, but kicks out too. World's strongest slam. Oh, match over.
Yeah.
1.5 out of 5.
Yeah, 1.5
Yeah.
for me as well. I mean,
what's the point?
I'm glad we got rid of that of this, because he shouldn't have been in this sort of thing in the first place. But we can do better for both of these, both the Alpha Academy and Elias. Just get them into something that's got some point behind it. Because having a match over having a pumpkin put on your head, ugh.
I've just realised I've got at least 5 more pages left yet. There's a lot of notes.
Not about this match, I'm
assuming.
No. I was going to say we've covered everything in this one.
About 5 dots, probably. Yeah, 1.5 out of 5. It was useless. Yes, okay, it's good to get it past, but what was the point?
Yeah.
I really don't see a point in this match. It's to me, okay, yes, you've had the pumpkin, but okay, cool. This time could be used for something else, which makes a staple at the end. And in all fairness, I now see. So Raw basically overran its time. I heard them say, "Oh, you got 30 seconds." They overran the time, right? But in all fairness, they did the NASCAR and WWE thing at the end with AJ Styles, this NASCAR driver, so they could overrun their own program.
Yeah,
that's one thing I noticed is this show overran. You get rid of this, you don't overrun.
They could have just removed this match, and that would have saved them 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get Saul. Are you with us? Oh, we might have lost Saul at this point.
No worries, dude.
Oh, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you
Lovely.
here?
Yeah. We lost Saul for a second.
Back now, though.
Yes. Lovely, he's back. Let me just refresh in case. There we go. Yeah, you're all good. So then we cut backstage
to a very upset Judgment Day.
Yes. And the only note I got from this was, "Mommy." That's it.
At all.
Oh, so we keep losing Saul.
Won't help, and now they've got sort of. Am I back again now?
I think so. We're having technical
Hello
issues. There? I can definitely hear you clearly. Yeah, you're back. You are back. Yeah. Okay, right.
Brilliant.
So my notes were Mommy.
And Miriam's not going to help the OC.
So, do you want to try disconnecting and connecting again?
From the voice call, yeah.
Yeah. So, whilst we currently wait, this bit will probably be edited out anyway. Probably not, but we're just gonna have and try disconnecting, connecting because there's a bit of connection issues. But where we got to was the backstage segment with. Oh, that was my picture. Backstage segment with OC. The Judgment Day. So, what it basically was is that they were angry. They were rushing about backstage. They're going, "Oh, this is not good." They're frustrated. They're peed off. Basically, they found the 4th member. And Finn, AJ, and Damien Priest are all kind of saying stuff. And now that Saul's back, he should be able to explain.
Yeah, they're all the Judgment Day were pretty pissed off. They were saying that having Mia Yim isn't going to help them at all. It's just going to cause them even more problems. They've got sort of twice the problems, 4 times the problems, and they went up to 99 problems.
Oh, 99 problems, but there's
yeah,
one.
And then as they were walking away, we had a little face-off between Bianca and Rhea.
I didn't mind this, actually. But in all fairness, I was like, Bianca? Why? But welcome back, Saul. It's like it's like I've not seen you in 5 minutes. So yeah, basically, the only note I got for this was Mammy is that Dominic turns around and says, "You don't disrespect Mammy like this." And now Rhea Ripley's got a T-shirt. I'm not your Mammy, or I'm your Mammy. Sorry, like Eddie Guerrero, I'm your pappy. Same font, same everything, but I'm your Mammy. I'm like, oh, this is genius. Genius, in all fairness.
Good marketing.
Yeah.
Bit like your T-shirt that you've got. You've got quite a bit of merchandise now, haven't you?
I have indeed. Less about me though. But thank you. Yes. Up until 2022, last 2022 edition of the Woo Nation T-shirts are on show right now. That's what I'm wearing. And they are on the website. That will be in the link in the description if you want to pick yourself some up as cheap as possible, all affordable, because living wages are obviously going up. I don't expect a lot. If you want them, grab them by all means. You've got to the end of 2022. We move on to a Bianca promo. At least I thought it was Bianca. It was Alexa, Asuka, and Bianca. So we know what this means, don't we?
Yeah. Damage control are coming out.
Yeah. Bianca says this is far from over. Because, of course, how do you extend the feud? They have them win the tag belts. They have Bayley lose the women's belt. That's how you carry it on.
I did laugh at the start because they had a bit of footage from a fan from earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And you could tell it wasn't a fan footage.
Hey, cameraman, get in position. Why?
Yeah.
They're going to start fighting backstage. Oh, okay, cool. But it was. So they started to have an altercation backstage. In the parking lot, sorry, didn't they? And they... What did I call on Saturday? I called this Saturday and I can't remember what I called. But yeah, they say it's far from over. Oh God. And Dakota turns around and says, "Oh, you still haven't beaten Bayley."
Yeah. Which is something you mentioned.
That's what I called Saturday. The pin stuff. You've not pinned her. But they didn't say pinned her. They just said you haven't beaten her. Well, no, but
Bianca has technically beaten her.
Yeah.
She's beaten her twice.
Ladder match and the last woman standing. But she's not pinned her. If you said you've not pinned her, that'd make more sense. But you said beaten, which it doesn't work in this scenario.
No.
Bianca's still holding the title. She has beaten Bayley.
Twice. Yeah, because they weren't like, disqualification or count out victories where the champion retains. She's actually won the match.
Then one about, you wouldn't have won. I don't know what you're bragging for. You wouldn't have won this match without Nikki Cross. Okay. And then one of my favourite things in this whole section is Asuka and Io Sky just start chatting
in Japanese.
Just having an absolute go at each other in Japanese. And there's a bit where I can understand what is being said. Asuka's basically calling Io a chicken. I think is what it is. It's a motions and stuff. Yeah, look like chicken. And they're going off and Asuka's just chicken. Io Sky just turns around and goes, bitch. Oh, she got a pop for that though. And it was bloody brilliant. I thought, do you know what? Yeah, speaking in English, and then they just start fighting.
Yeah, big brawl, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Bianca goes, "This isn't over. This is war," which only means one thing:
war games.
War games. Ooh. Nikki attacks Bianca, and then Nikki is apparently with Damage Control, and this is where we get the confirmation that we are going to have a 5v5 war games this year.
Yeah, we saw the little graphic, didn't we?
Yes.
That had 3 spots filled up for Bianca's team and 4 spots filled up for Bayley's team, and there was 2 and 1 open slot.
Quick predictions.
One more for Bianca's team that I'm almost certain of is Candice LeRae.
Yeah, that was one of my predictions. Candice LeRae has got to be on that side to go against Damage Control. Now,
Yep.
the last two, who's going to be on Damage Control side and who's going to be on Bianca's side?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. The one way they could go is if they don't do the OC Judgment Day War Games match, they could pop both Rhea and Mia Yim on
Yeah.
each team.
Mhm.
I know we've got the Dana Brooke Nikki Cross thing, but I just can't see Dana Brooke being put
No.
on the goodies team.
So I don't have a prediction for the heel team. I can't. I'm looking at that and I can't think who's going to go there. The only person I can think of, Cora Jade.
Could be. Yeah, they could get some NXT
Yeah.
women. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez.
Yes. My other prediction for the face team is Becky Lynch.
That's a good shout.
She's now cleared
the
wrestling, and obviously she got respect for Bianca at the end of SummerSlam.
Yes, yeah.
So I think here is where you bring Becky back as a face to help Bianca against Damage Control.
Yeah.
To carry on that feud from SummerSlam.
Yeah, because they made a big thing at SummerSlam of sort of getting away from the big time Bex thing and making her sort of finally respect Bianca.
Yes.
And stand up, sort of go shoulder to shoulder with against Damage Control. So it makes sense to have Becky back as like the final member of their team.
Yeah. So I think Becky, Candice LeRae, Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa are your face team. Your heel team, I honestly couldn't know. I don't know who you put in there as a heel. I only think you could potentially bring up Cora Jade from NXT, or just have someone random there, because at the end of the day, you've got Damage Control and Nikki Cross.
And the thing is, can they trust Nikki Cross?
Yeah.
Because I know that like it looks like she's with them, but her eyes in the match are just crazy person eyes, so she could literally do anything, couldn't she?
Yeah. So at this point, we then move on to Austin Theory versus Shelton.
Quickly, do we also think that means we're going to get the Bloodline in a War Games match with 5 people?
So this
against
me and you spoke about this, didn't we? And we were for those of you watching that don't know, NXT War Games was always 4 versus 4. The old WCW War Games was also 5 versus 5. So me and Saul was not sure if we were going to get the NXT War Games or the WCW War Games. It looks like we're getting the WCW War Games with this women's match being 5v5.
Yeah.
So Saul is correct on this. It's a very good point to bring up. Bloodline, Solo, Roman, Sammy, Usos. Cool. What's the 5 against the Bloodline?
Exactly. Yeah, I've got no idea about this at the moment.
I reckon it was Logan, but he got injured.
Yeah.
So my prediction is New Day.
Oh yeah, you've got 2 there, haven't you?
And Brawling Brutes.
Brawling Brutes. Yep. Oh yeah, because you could have Sheamus and Pete Dunne and
yeah. I off the top of my head, they're the 5.
Shout, mate.
Brawling Brutes and New Day, because Sheamus got laid off his shoulder, his marriage, but his shoulder injury due to the chair shots by the Bloodline. So I think it could be a Brawling Brutes and New Day versus the Bloodline at Survivor Series War Games. If you guys think anyone else, let us know in the comments down below. Obviously, we're open to suggestions. We don't know. Survivor Series is only 3 weeks away, mind you. Not long.
I mean, I know some people have been saying, it'll be a Bray Wyatt team, but I don't think there's enough time to build this sort of feud to make it make sense.
No.
And also, they're going to have to rush in potentially 4 new members to a Bray Wyatt faction.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks.
No. Leave Bray with promos. Yes, I know people are like, promos, but look, Bray's promos are incredible. I could sit there every week and watch him do a promo.
We went quiet, didn't we?
Yeah.
For the entire time he was doing the Crown Jewel promo.
Yeah, so obviously Crown Jewel is in my Discord. I'll leave a link below. We'll probably do the same for Survivor Series and whatnot going forward. But basically, me and Saul's watching Crown Jewel, we were talking about matches, going, oh, what a spot, talk about stuff. As soon as Bray Wyatt's promo hit, none of us said a word. And that speaks volumes about Bray Wyatt. And we didn't even go, oh, well, shush. We literally just saw Bray come out. We both shut up. And we're just listening and watching everything that Bray did. And then as soon as it ended, we spoke again. And that shows how good these promos are when, especially like us two, who like to talk a lot, are quiet, and we're looking at the information, we're going, oh, and we're so intrigued, involved.
Invested in it, weren't we?
That's the word, invested. Yeah, I don't think it's Bray. Too early.
No.
Keep him with this Uncle Howdy stuff and whatever he's doing, because it's so interesting. And again, what you said, it's too quick to bring up a Wyatt 6 team or whatever it may be. Because it's Wyatt 6. Unless it's 5 puppets and he's the master and he chucks them into War Games, fine. But who are you going to find in that time? Like I say, Brawling Brutes and New Day are my predictions. Unless they do something different recently. Kevin Owens could be a factor, but I think they're going to save that for Royal Rumble time.
Yeah.
That way.
I mean, I think Bray will probably be in the Rumble, won't he? I can't see him not being in it. Whether what happens then is up for debate, because I think we'll also have what's his face, Cody back by then as well in the Rumble.
So
I mean, they're my 2 picks to win it: Cody or
Bray.
Bray.
Picks to win the Royal Rumble very early: Cody or Sammy. I think Sami Zayn wins the Rumble.
Yeah, that would be good as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But yes, now we actually do move on to Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjamin. For another 20 seconds of crap TV time.
Yeah. Now, when this first was announced, I was thinking, oh, this could be a pretty good match, because they're both talented guys.
How we were wrong.
Yes, how we were wrong indeed. I've got looking forward to this. Sweet German by Shelton. Irake. Shelton loses after a down. Could have been a great match if given time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't given time. What was it? Do you reckon realistically about 2 minutes again?
Yeah. My notes were beautiful German from Shelton. The gear is very similar. And Theory eye poke, A-Town finisher. Oh. What was the point?
Yeah. This is another 2-star one for me.
I gave it 1. I was that peed off with the previous one to then see this one. Austin Theory got a needless win. Why bring Shelton back on my screen to have him lose? Shelton Benjamin is not a jobber.
No.
He is the gold standard, which is a crap nickname if you're having him lose to Austin Theory, who, by the way, later is useless.
I mean, Corey Graves was even bigging up Shelton Benjamin, who was essentially the face in this match. And Corey Graves normally just shits on the faces.
And then...
Sorry, I swore. Was that allowed?
Yeah, it's allowed. Yeah. Come on now.
You might have to bleep me out later.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't get monetized anyway. I've got to wait until 5 subscribers and a lot more now. Because the new update to YouTube, very, very quick interference. 10 million short views now apparently needed for the partner program, which is ridiculous.
Well, you're getting quite a lot anyway, mate, so it won't take long.
Hopefully. So then we get Miz versus Gargano, and let me tell you right now, I did not care for this. To start off with, I did not care for this because we had the revelation on last week, which was that Dexter was paid by the Miz.
We spoke about this, didn't we? We thought it was a bit of a crap revelation. We were thinking it was going to be something big and juicy.
And it wasn't.
Just the Miz trying to become more famous by having a stalker. Having a celebrity stalker, what a load of
crap. Is a nice way to put it, and the only way we can put it. So, notes as follows. Miz promo, crap storyline. And I also put, I hope it's false. I hope the Johnny interview was false.
Yeah, because now, if that had been the case, that would have made it a lot more interesting again.
Yeah.
Johnny making it up, but I think with what happens in a bit, we're pretty sure that it wasn't false.
Yeah. He turns around and says, "Oh, it's awful. My father even believes Johnny Gargano." was like, not Miz Dad.
Mm.
No, not Miz Dad, but it was Miz Dad. He believed Johnny.
Yeah.
And then I put, I really don't care for this, and interrupted by Johnny. And then my next note was blow that whistle, which sounds out of
Yeah.
context in so many ways. Apparently, Johnny Gargano has stronger evidence. I said, oh, okay. And it turns out that so Miz was on about that there's a massive movie producer, this female that won't be named, that basically wants to turn this into a story. And it turns out that agent was in fact a PI, a private investigator, who had a hidden camera on her and had footage of the Miz at dinner. Now, the funniest thing about this whole segment was Johnny saying, oh, I'm going to use this universal remote control to use it on this Tron. Brilliant, goofy crap. I actually quite like that.
I mean, that's good because, like, normally they'll point at the thing and it'll magically do what they want, but at least he had like a little remote to say, yeah, I mean, actually in control of all this.
So he
kept
played
fast
it,
forwarding it.
And it's, wow, Miz, he stopped paying Dexter. He admitted to this PI everything that went off. And you can hear the crowd go, ooh, slightly, but it was there. And I've put, oh dear, Miz. And then also, I love the fast forward segments.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, there was a moment where he's like, oh, I had to fast forward it twice. He's like, oh, look, I fast forwarded it. I put, this was funny, still crap though.
I mean, they're trying to make the best out of what is a pretty crap situation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to be hard work to rescue this now.
Yeah. Then we actually get the match, Miz versus Johnny up next. And you know what? I didn't mind this match.
The match, considering we've had some turkeys on this one with the Otis and the Cedric one and the Shelton Benjamin one. This was actually quite a decent length match and lots of back and forth with it. Again, we're going back to these sort of the loud kicks and slaps. There was a massive super kick that Gargano
it was lovely.
hit on the Miz that sent him flying off the apron. There was a sort of, I remember he did a sort of spear through the ropes as the Miz was running towards him.
I love that springboard clothesline. It's one of my moves on 2K. Oh, it's brilliant.
Miz got some good offense. He spiked a really big DDT on Gargano. Yeah, this match, compared to what we've had the rest of this episode, was up there.
Yeah.
There's probably some more that you've got. I've sort of got a bit more, but heading towards the finish. So you've probably got some highlights that you liked.
So, start off the match, Miz was that irate. He was trying to punch the crap out of Johnny, and Johnny just kept ducking. I love this because Johnny was just whoop, whoop, ducking and weaving. Couldn't hit him. It was good. Then on commentary, his name's now Johnny Blackmail.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite funny. Johnny all over the Miz. Miz just went, so they did a sequence off the ropes. Miz went to do a dropkick and Johnny holds onto the ropes. Miz just jumps in the air and just falls flat on his back.
Yeah.
Which I've got to say, looks like it bloody hurts. There's a nice bit where they're working the arm and the hand. Johnny's working on the Miz's arm and hands.
Yeah, he was going after the left arm for quite a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah. There's a lovely kick and sell, which was the Johnny Gargano super kick and Miz's sell. And there's a bit where Johnny goes up to the turnbuckle to jump up, and the Miz legit just kicks him in the face. And after that, Johnny Gargano starts bleeding, and it looks legit. Now, apparently, Natalia's bloody nose on SmackDown was also legit. She was in hospital for a dislocated nose and got it fixed. So, prior to my SmackDown review, that knee by Shania actually rocked Natalia for 6. Her nose is that dislocated, they had to have surgery to push her nose back in position. Yeah, and that was real blood just pouring out of her nose, and that was a lot. Here, Johnny's got all blood around his teeth. And you can clearly tell it's blood because it's actually on his teeth, whereas the fake blood seems to just be on the mouth and the face and goes off. The blood is actually, looks like he's hit him in the jaw too for something, and he's bleeding a bit.
Well, with this, like I say, with the sounds of some of these kicks and knees and stuff were making. Wouldn't surprise me that he got busted open.
Yeah.
So legit, yeah.
There was a nice Miz super kick in there, in all fairness. And I put, match longer than 2 minutes. Clothesline spear, love it. Spear into running knee, that looked a bit off. But initially, Johnny went to do a spear and Miz went to do Daniel Bryan's running knee. There was a really nice dive to the outside. And then your notes towards the finish?
Then we had Miz was claiming they're sort of brawling outside the ring around the announce table. The Miz gets sent crashing into it. Gargano's back in the ring, and Miz is sort of claiming that someone is actually under the ring trying to grab him. The referee comes out to take a look, but the Miz has got, I think they said it was like part of the turnbuckle or
Yeah.
it was some sort of metal pipe, wasn't it, in his hand? And he's shouting at the referee, "No, can you see him? Can you see him?" The ref's going, "No one's under here." And then as Gargano goes to grab the Miz, he sort of lifts his arm up and clonks Gargano across the head with it. Gets back in and gets the win.
Yes, we get a pinfall for Miz, a dirty pinfall. I put, why Miz? Why would you have Miz win here? But I give this match a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, and that was more so because of how bad the previous matches have been.
Yeah, I give this a 3. The dirty pin at the end annoyed me slightly. And we didn't get no Dexter in the match. It wasn't until after the match where Dexter actually came out and smacked Miz with a steel chair.
Yeah, while he was celebrating.
Sat
and then
on
he
it.
sort of sat down, yeah.
For 10 seconds.
And then security chased him off.
And he legged it. Let me tell you now, he went over that over the barricade, and you saw him sprint from the back all the way actually to the back itself. He was rapid. He was running for his life.
He can move for a guy his size, can't he?
He can move. And then we get Nikki backstage with Damage Control. And she's like, "It's time to play." Damage Control, like, "Oh, we understand you," and all this lot, basically trying to get Nikki on her side, and Nikki wants to play. But I don't think
Dakota
Nikki
was saying, "Oh, you're one of us, Nikki. They all forgot about you, like they forgot about us, and now you're showing them." And
I love Dakota's character. She's found like a prized possession that she's really proud of, and it's Nikki, and she's like, "Oh, look at her!" Look, like she's really kind of excited and intrigued by Nikki's character, and Dakota loves it, and it's a really nice Dakota character touch.
Yeah.
And then we get told it's Dana Brooke versus Nikki Cross for the 24/7 championship.
Yeah. So when they said 24/7 championship, I'm sure me and you were discussing at some point recently that Dana Brooke was sort of talking about hoping to make the 24/7 championship into a women's mid-card title.
Yeah, and she can keep hoping after what happened.
Yes.
Because let's put it this way. That ain't happening.
No.
So Nikki comes out, good theme song, Damage Control obviously follow, and actually Dana's got a decent theme song.
Yeah.
It's very generic, but it's not bad, and she gets no reaction whatsoever.
I think because we haven't seen or heard from her for God knows how long.
Yeah. The 24/7 championship, I was like, hold on a second here, you're actually having a sanctioned match for the 24/7 championship. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know about the outcome, but I straight away was like, hold on.
Warning bell go off, yeah.
Like, yeah, bells are going off. Why are we getting a sanctioned match for the 24/7 championship? It's a little bit off.
The whole point of it's to be unsanctioned matches. You can pin anywhere, anytime.
I put, why don't we just pair Nikki Cross with Bray Wyatt?
Yep. Be a good choice.
You know, just as a wild thing, obviously sanity and all that lot. Then we get basically Bayley on commentary, and she's quite mellow. She's just, there's no emotion to her. She's like, Nikki, you know, she's obviously distraught from her loss.
Yeah, it's obviously because like Dakota and Io were still quite up for it because they were happy, obviously, that they'd won the tag titles, but you could tell Bailey weren't her normal self
Yeah.
because of losing to Bianca.
And then all of a sudden, Dana's on the top rope, does the move, and Nikki Cross is your new 24/7 champion. Just like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
give this match a 1 out of 5.
I gave it a 1.5 out of
I
5.
quite literally blinked and missed it.
I did enjoy like Nikki Cross's crazy eyes that you
Yes.
kept seeing because she looked proper insane.
Thing is,
Like,
her attire is literally just a t-shirt and leather trousers.
mhm,
There is no attire. You can tell she's got knee pads on, but she's literally wearing a t-shirt. There's no weirdness or whatnot, but a bra was showing for half of the match.
mm,
So there was just a t-shirt and some leather trousers,
mhm.
which looks good. Don't get me wrong, but I really miss having wrestlers actually have attires and not
Yeah,
here's a t-shirt and whatever. Even
I
John
mean, we
Cena,
said Logan Paul. He had a great attire,
Logan
didn't
Paul's
he?
attire is incredible for what he is. In all fairness.
Mm,
But it's like for me, I look at what's his face, Madcap Moss. He hasn't got an attire. It's just
mhm.
there. There's nothing fancy about it, you know.
No.
Elias is in jeans, and it's like okay, cool. Otis
Mhm,
and Chad have attires.
mhm.
Even Cena, yes, he had his shorts, but his jorts rather, his jean shorts. But at least it was his character, you know.
Mm,
And he had his knee pads on and whatnot. But I just look and I don't see like again. Usos have a bit of a thingy. New Day has an attire.
yeah.
I just miss the days when we actually have characters with attires and not just
Mhm,
essentially t-shirt and trousers.
mm,
You know, Nikki obviously did the ASH attire, which was wicked for what it was.
mm.
But
I mean, you might not like the ASH character, but at least she had like a proper get
yeah,
up for doing it, didn't she?
and I just put, does Nikki need a title?
Mm,
Unbeknowing, I didn't know what comes
yeah.
next. But I was like, does Nikki need? And Bailey, like, Nikki Cross just walks off. Bailey grabs the title, puts it on her
On her
shoulder,
shoulder, yeah.
which was actually quite smooth because it didn't fall. It stayed on her shoulder really
Mm,
nicely. And then, so we've already spoke about this, but the 5v final gets confirmed again.
mhm,
Alexa, Bianca, Asuka, and 2 more, and Bailey, Dakota, Io, Nikki, and someone else.
mhm,
Then we get told Seth Open Challenge is now the main event, in brackets,
mhm,
as it should have been, you idiots. Close
mhm.
bracket. Then we cut backstage, and Nikki and Damage Control are walking towards this bin, what it looks like.
Mhm.
Nikki's not looking, and Nikki disposes of this title by throwing it next to the bin.
Yeah, it didn't go in the bin, did it? I
To be
think it was
fair,
meant to,
yeah,
but
she wasn't looking. In all fairness to it, it was a bit difficult. She wasn't looking, and she was kind of chucked it at the side, so she just had to launch
mhm.
it. I saw Bailey look down at the title, look up, and
Mm,
nearly break character. She's like,
mm.
but no more 27 title championship. Looks like they disposed of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Right call.
if, yeah, I think so. Dana Brooke's been 24/7 champion for God knows how long, and it hasn't been defended. It's been a bit. It was fine for like the first 6 months. It was about as bit of something different, but it's well past its course now.
Yeah.
Um,
So that is obviously a Vince creation,
mhm,
and I think it is literally Trips pushing out the last bit of Trips. Sorry, Vince
mhm.
as when he was in charge. I think this is the last bit of pushing it out,
Yeah.
as we found out maybe a bit later that this is basically wiping the slate clean. And before we go any further, we also get another backstage segment. It's me, Yim, and the OC.
And they're all talking about how good it is to have Mia Yim there backing them up. Gonna have drinks tonight. Um, and they're offering to pay for the drinks, but then Mia Yim says she's got it. And AJ's a bit like, well, hang on, you got to be careful with these guys.
Don't have a tolerance.
Yeah,
And Anderson and Gallows like, oh, too sweet, too sweet. Oh, this is mint,
yeah.
yeah. And I love it. Just dorky. I love the OC. She is the head baddie. That's what I was looking for this whole time. She self-proclaimed herself as the head baddie. And then we finally get into the last bit, and I think I said here we have about 25 minutes left. So at this point, I knew it wasn't going to be a long match. I just didn't expect what came next. So I said, best be a good surprise for the main event. I predict Mustafa Ali, though, but would like to see Carmelo Hayes make a surprise debut. And I was very wrong.
Well, we did get Mustafa Ali, didn't we?
Yes.
So,
So just before that, sorry, 10 years of Seth in WWE.
crazy, isn't it?
Mental. That's the only thing I
Uh,
want to point out there, really.
all those thank you, Seth chants, thank you, Rollins
Yeah,
chants, uh, singing along with the crowd. And I mean, this is the point. He is a face now.
he's got to be.
It's got to be. There's no, you can't. I can't imagine him now as a this at this particular moment in time being people thinking he's a heel because he's doing so many things that you associate with a face.
Yeah. And as you said, we get Mustafa on a
Yep,
Titantron.
he's going to have his open. He's got Seth can't look any further than Mustafa Ali for his open challenge.
But just before we go forward, right? So this has caused a debate in the Money B Discord, and I'm gonna properly bring this up because a lot of people are quite upset with this whole segment, which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go through some points. I'm not saying anyone's wrong. I'm just gonna share my opinion, and so will share his. Before we even go any further, what's the point in having a Titantron to say, "Oh, I'm coming to face you"? Just use your entrance and go out for starters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the first thing about this is, okay, you're gonna accept it. Just pop your music and go down.
Because wasn't there an advert break as well
Yes.
between when we finally learned who was going down?
Yes.
There was an advert break, so yeah, that was a bit unnecessary.
So Mustafa Ali is saying, "Oh, look no further, it's me," and then he gets dragged off the screen, beat up,
Mm-hmm.
and who comes in? Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like this because I'm like, oh, I didn't think of Bobby Lashley,
No,
but
I didn't.
yeah. And then he's like, "It's me. I want my title back. What
Mm-hmm.
cost me? You took it. I want it back."
Mm-hmm.
Mustafa tries to beat up Bobby and just gets tossed.
He got absolutely yeeted,
This
didn't
was
he?
beautiful. And this obviously signifies that Bobby's a heel because he gave Mustafa respect when he was a US champion.
Mm-hmm.
Now he doesn't care. He's like, "Well, get out of my way. I'm beating the crap out. I'm beating up whoever
Yeah.
I want to beat up." And he just tossed Mustafa into that whatever it was, the box.
Yeah, it's like a box of things, and I think he also knocked some poles or something down because there's a load of clanging.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just went flying, didn't he? And Mustafa Ali, I know he's not the biggest guy in WWE, but he's still a full-grown wrestler, and
Yeah.
Lashley just launched him.
And at this point, 15 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
I was so pissed at this point. 15 minutes left for an Open Challenge US title. Something's going off.
Mm-hmm.
And I, in all fairness, was right, but I was also wrong. I was thinking it's just going to be a surprise, thingy again. I'm thinking Mustafa, but he's gone. Carmelo Hayes. Obviously, Bobby's still on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby makes his entrance down to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the controversy starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's best to explain it after everything happens.
Yes, so shall we go through like what happens
Yes.
up to a certain point when someone else comes out?
Yes.
First of all.
You go for it, go.
Okay, so the bell doesn't actually ring.
Point number one.
Yeah. Lashley's sort of come out and he basically, like he did when he charged Lesnar, and
Yes.
he does exactly the same to Seth. He's beating him up. He chucks him outside the ring. He goes for a spear on Seth, but Seth just like spearing through the barricade as he's wont to do. But Seth counters it with a super kick and then tosses Lashley into the steps. He goes for a pedigree then to try and put Lashley down, but Lashley manages to get out of it. He then hoists Seth up on his shoulders and absolutely smashes him into the ring post.
Right.
God.
This spot is safe, and I know it's safe the way they take it. The landing isn't, but the hit against the post is safe. But my God, does it look brutal.
It doesn't look it. It looks brutal, doesn't it? And this was the first of 3 of these that happened over the next sort of 10 minutes because Seth got 1, but someone else got 2 of them.
Yes.
Then we had Bobby sort of finish it off after smashing him into the ring post. He basically cleared the announce table, and looked like to me like a choke slam through the table.
Yeah, it's essentially called a full Nelson, is what they want to call it. So the way 2K explains it is when there's an arm up and it's not hoisted down, but it's like up, it's a full Nelson. You just launch them up and launch them down. People will probably correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, which I probably am. But 2K says the move is a full Nelson slam.
Okay, cool.
Or like it's essentially a chokeslam UNRG, full Nelson slam, and whatever else you want to call it. But yeah, he crashes through that table. And
all the officials have piled out now by this, but I mean they were out before, but there's hundreds of them now, sort of milling about, sort of trying to get him to stop and call him off. And I think that's when he sort of starts to walk away. And so there's not been an open challenge match at this point.
And as Bobby is going back towards the ramp and towards the entrance, Austin Theory makes an appearance, just sneaking out with his Money in the Bank contract. And my thing that she says here, Theory, no, ad break. So yeah, at this point,
we've got another ad break with like
9 minutes left. 9 minutes left. We had an ad break. What are you doing? So yeah, Bobby attacks Seth. The key part to the whole of this is that Bobby accepted the challenge, but the bell never rang. The open challenge never started. Bobby decimates Seth, which means then it's classed as a no contest because the officials came out. Bobby had to be pushed away, and that is deemed a no contest. There was no open challenge. It never was official. The bell never rang. So for the people in the Discord, I understand what you're saying. It's an open challenge. Yes, fine. But Theory's actually been a smart heel here by coming down with the briefcase on a very injured and battered Seth.
I mean, looking at how Seth was, I thought Theory was easily going to win this title because he'd just been absolutely decimated by Bobby Lashley.
So we come back to Theory, and he's actually cashed in his Money in the Bank. The bells rang. So this is now an official match.
Yeah, United States Championship.
And Seth is battered and bruised. And Seth keeps kicking out. I tell you something, Austin Theory does a nice pedigree.
I mean, the things that I've got a couple of things that he hit him up with off the bat. Big right hand to start with. Beautiful. Then a knee to kicked out of that. Knee to neck, kicked out of that. Rollins goes for a pedigree, but Theory reverses it and pedigrees Seth, and Seth kicks out again. And by this point, I'm thinking, bloody hell, he is not staying down. He can't have known where he was. He'd been absolutely battered by Lashley, but he's just kicking out on instinct now.
The pedigree by Theory was lovely. Absolutely lovely. And then there's a super kick and a nice elbow to the back of the head by Seth. And then all of a sudden, Theory hits a tower down, thinking, oh my god, 1-2, never mind, Bobby Lashley's back.
He's still not happy.
Now, I'm not saying I want Theory to win, but I wanted Theory to win. Just because it'd be a surprise factor. The first ever successful cash-in on a US title. You know,
I think this is the first ever cash-in on a mid-card title.
Yes. Which I think is how Money in the Bank needs to go forward now. It is a guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but a cash-in opportunity on any title. Not just a world title. And this goes back to a comment Money made is, yes, every wrestler probably does dream of being in the main event of WrestleMania with a title. However, some people may know they can't reach that level, so they would go for a mid-card title. Like, if you was to say, to take Gunther's Intercontinental title, Seth and Gunther are basically the main event of the shows now. Because Roman's got both titles hostage. And Bobby comes back, and he makes Austin Theory eat post twice.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing he did to Seth. And like you say, well, it's not as bad as it looks. It looked ridiculous, didn't it?
The second one actually looked like it rang his head. Ooh, and then Austin Theory gets in the Hurt Lock.
He basically passes out, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then it gets to a count of 9, and Austin Theory jumps up and jumps in the ring, only to get hit by a stomp as he comes back in the ring.
Yeah, and Seth gets the pin, and retains his US title, although he didn't really seem to know a lot about it by the end. But I mean,
Theory,
this put
yeah,
Seth over as a face once again because all the crowd were cheering for him
yeah.
through this entire match.
Um,
And against Theory, he is the face, isn't he?
yeah.
Because
Bobby, so people have said again in the Discord, and by the way, to the people in the Discord, if you do watch this, I'm not having a go at anything like that. I'm just pointing out stuff you said because it's very interesting. People have said it doesn't help any character. Personally, I disagree. I think it helps Bobby just come over as a monster, as a destroyer,
yeah.
because he lays out Seth, he gets booed for it, lays out Austin Theory, gets cheered for it. By the way, the liveliest this crowd has ever been this night is when Austin Theory got battered.
And when Seth was, they were singing for Seth, weren't they, as well?
I think Bobby looks a bit stronger here because he's just taken out everybody. He looks like a powerhouse. Seth,
And he's annoyed because of the way he lost that title as well. And he's blaming Seth for it, although it was mainly Brock Lesnar's fault. Seth's got it now, and he wants it back at some point.
And he's angry. He lost to Brock at Saudi, so he's taking his anger out on everybody. He's flipped a switch. So this solidifies Bobby Lashley as a heel, which makes him stronger. Solidifies Seth as a face, which makes him look better. And people are going to get behind Seth a lot more. And yes, Austin Theory lost his Money in the Bank. But let's be completely honest here. Austin Theory was never going to win a title.
No, he was given it when Vince was in charge, wasn't he?
Yeah, Vince
that's the first thing.
Made him in that match. There was no need for Theory to be in that match at Money in the Bank.
No, that was a Vince decision.
Yeah. And this was to peter out any Vince left in WWE at this moment in time. And after this segment, this is where we're going to say stuff. This segment works. In my opinion, this segment works because we've got rid of the Money in the Bank. Yes, bit of a crap decision, but we now get rid of the Money in the Bank because apparently Money in the Bank is now going to be WrestleMania. For one. It was quite literally a hanging freaking I can't remember. Basically, it was a martyrdom that Austin Theory was because this briefcase was holding him down. He can't do storylines. Austin Theory is so stuck with that Money in the Bank briefcase because he's not in a position to be. He's not serious enough. He's not. Braun Breaker NXT maybe, but even then, Braun Breaker is a powerhouse. Braun Breaker should destroy him. So this, I think, is the right decision to have lose against Seth and Bobby. Because it's not all down to Austin Theory. I think this is the best way.
It's protected him a bit, hasn't it, by having Bobby pretty much lay waste to him.
And I do think this is the best way you can get rid of that Money in the Bank briefcase.
It's freed Theory up to do some actual stuff away from Money in the Bank.
Yes.
I mean, they could be setting up here for a proper feud between Theory and Seth because Theory used to be one of Seth's disciples, didn't he? And then a couple of weeks ago on Raw, we had the Seth commentating on the Theory match, and after that, Theory didn't take kindly to what Seth was saying, although we couldn't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
And then they had the match. I think it was last week or the
last week
before.
I think.
Yeah, and that was we said that was a really good match.
I give that one of the highest rated matches possible.
And during that match, one of the things that Theory actually said to Seth is, "Oh, you may have been the king of the cash-in, but I'm going to be the new king of the cash-in with his briefcase."
And he was the new crappiest cash-in king possible.
But I think they could be building. This could be adding sort of fuel to a Theory Seth feud. So you've got the former teacher and the former disciple.
Yeah.
There's and then, like you say, we've got the cementing Bobby as a heel. He can do some stuff. So there's definitely direction and story elements that have tied in with all this.
Whilst I agree in some aspect, this is one of the worst booking decisions. You need a bad booking decision to create good stuff. You need a bad episode to correct stuff. And this was basically the correction episode. This was getting rid of anything, especially after Saudi's just been, getting rid of Vince, essentially. The 24/7 championship is now gone.
Yeah.
The Money in the Bank briefcase is now gone, done, off of Theory. And if it was targeted, yes, it is removing the bad to create good. Because they are hindering the show. The Money in the Bank and the 24/7 champion never helped the show. Oh, with Theory anyway. Theory had a good run as the youngest ever Money in the Bank winner. Okay, cool. But it was a Vince McMahon project, and he's not Triple H's project.
What was Theory going to realistically do with that 24/7 briefcase? Was he going to cash it in?
Yeah.
24. Oh, I'm getting myself confused now. With that Money in the Bank briefcase, what was he going to do with it? Was he going to cash it in against Roman? No.
Exactly. Was he going to be the only guy to go a whole calendar year without cashing it in? That would have been funny.
No.
But it wasn't. So we've righted it wrong, I think, in this, and hopefully next week is exciting because now what do? There's no briefcase now, so it's a fresh start for Theory. Who needs it? He could become more serious. Get rid of this crappy selfie gimmick. I'm sorry, Logan Paul did more of a selfie than you've ever done in your whole WWE career.
I mean, that one shot with him flying from the top rope, that was more than any Austin Theory selfie.
And that's nothing against Theory, but that's just the character. I give the match.
Theory's a good wrestler, isn't he? He's a talented guy.
Very talented. I give the match a 2 out of 5.
I gave it a 3 out of 5, but
what did you give the whole show?
The whole show I gave a 3.
I give a 2.5. So for once, I'm actually more negative, and I think in some aspects rightly so, and some aspects some good stuff. I just think that this was an episode that needed to be bad to become good. I think this is a new chapter in the storyline. Saudi Arabia's just been. And that's a Vince thing, Saudi. So now we've got a whole year till Saudi, let's be honest. So now you can really focus on the build to WrestleMania, on the build to whatever whatever you're gonna do. So for me, this open challenge worked. It was never an open challenge, the bell never rang. In which case it got deemed a no contest, which then Austin Theory, being a smart heel, tried to cash in on a brutalized Seth Rollins to try and take the title. He didn't, which has caused controversy, but again, the steps were right.
And not everyone who's cashed in on a brutalized opponent has ever gone on to win money in the bank. Sometimes they've still, even though their opponent's been smashed to bits, they've still ended up managing to pull off a victory.
So, I mean, you look at obviously Alberto Del Rio back then, that was brilliant for what it was. So, again, I know a lot of people are upset by this end, but there is sense. If you want to make it make sense, by all means, that's on you. If you don't, look, end of the day, everyone's got different opinions. My opinion is it makes sense, and I don't mind it. If you don't like it, okay, fair dues. I respect your opinion. And please share with me your thoughts and feelings on it.
What you would have done to get out of this sticky situation with the 24/7.
How do you fancy book
with us keep calling it 24/7 champion with the Money in the Bank?
So your best superstar of the show and worst superstar of the show. Here's one for you.
I'll give you my best one first of all.
Okay.
Can only be one guy for me.
Yep.
Seth Rollins.
So I've actually gone with Mia Yim here.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
Not for the wrestling aspect, but we've got a debut from Mia Yim. I love Mia Yim. It's great to see her back on my screen, and great to see her paired up with AJ Styles in the OC. My worst, WWE booking. I'll be completely honest. My worst is the 24/7 championship.
That is exactly when you said WWE booking. I was thinking, no, got one better, 24/7 championship.
To be fair, it's also the best because it's gone. Like, in terms of what I'm saying, is the worst thing is the 24/7 championship. It's been discarded. It's gone done. And the Money in the Bank. The booking wasn't the best on the show, which is why it's my worst of the show. But hopefully this can lead on to better things. And my best is simply Mia Yim being back. Very lovely to see on the screen. And also, the Usos and New Day are probably on that list as well.
They were good.
Yeah. Go on, sorry.
I'd probably say if I was pushed to actually have a wrestler who was the worst, and it's not because they're a bad wrestler, but it's just Cedric Alexander, because he was used so he was just wasted in the spot he was in. I could also say Shelton as well. hugely talented guy who's just wasted.
Yeah. So I quite like that, and yeah. If it was down to a wrestler, Shelton and Cedric, yeah,
Not because they're bad, but it's just they
booking's
didn't.
awful.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, that is the review after Raw, which is actually just gone half of the actual show itself. Which is why you should tune into these episodes, because we go through a lot more in a lot less time. And so, I'll be completely honest, we are more entertaining than some of the crap that went off in this episode.
Yeah.
But yes,
a lot more entertaining than Cedric Alexander and Baron Corbin, anyway.
And Otis, well, not Otis in the whole is brilliant, but the Elias Otis matches,
yeah.
meh. Johnny Miz is now meh. It looks like we're trying to right a wrong, is what I'm hoping for. I will obviously see you on the SmackDown edition of the reviews. We are going to have on that show the tag team match, which basically determines the longest reigning champs in history, and we are also going to have the World Cup start for the shot at the Intercontinental title, which I'm very excited for.
I'm just going to say, I think the Usos are going to win the tag title match.
Yeah. Part of me wants it to be New Day, but I think that storyline is not where it needs to be. I think it is the Usos, unless Sammy costs the Usos.
Yeah, because this is something we thought.
But we'll see. But guys, thank you for supporting the reviews as you have been for this past. It's been a month. It's been a month since the reviews.
4 episodes. Yowie wowie.
And it's been incredible. The support you've shown us is absolutely incredible. We want to thank each and every one of you for it. We wouldn't be in a position to keep doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So we thank you for your support massively. The last thing really is, make sure you hit that like button, you share this video out to people, you hit that subscribe button, and
the little bell ding.
The little ding.
That's what's that? It's the alert bell, isn't it?
Yes. Ding. And we will see you. Well, I will see you in other videos on this channel. But Saul
and
will
I will see you next Monday.
Next Monday.
No, next Tuesday. Even
next Tuesday.
Raw's on Monday.
The review after Raw. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Peace.